Have you ever wondered if artificial intelligence knows more about you than you know about yourself? It may sound far-fetched, but AI tools like Meta AI on WhatsApp are becoming increasingly sophisticated. While their promise is to make life easier, these technologies raise an intriguing question. To what extent are we aware of what they know about us and what it means for our privacy? In recent years, artificial intelligence has evolved rapidly, achieving impressive accuracy in predicting behaviors and understanding preferences. With Meta AI's launch on WhatsApp, the company aims for this technology to become part of our daily lives, a personal assistant in our conversations. But what seems like a simple convenience may, in fact, signify a radical shift in how we understand our identity and privacy. This video aims to explore how Meta AI and similar technologies are not only transforming communication but also challenging our ideas of freedom and privacy. Today we'll examine this issue through the lenses of science, philosophy, and our own existence. After all, how much privacy are we truly willing to give up in the name of digital convenience? The artificial intelligence we know today isn't just a tool that answers questions or provides suggestions. It's a system capable of analyzing complex patterns, understanding behaviors, and even anticipating needs we may not be aware of. When Meta launched its AI on WhatsApp, the promise was to simplify daily life. But in doing so, it opened a new window into our lives, one that can understand us in ways we never expected. Meta AI uses a method known as data inference to draw deep insights from our interactions. This means that from small details, like what we type, who we talk to, and even how long we stay in a chat, this AI can deduce elements of our personality. It maps habits, senses emotional states, and in some ways, even predicts our future behaviors. This raises a fundamental question. How much do we truly know about what it knows about us? On the surface, this type of analysis seems like a useful tool. But a closer look reveals a troubling point. If Meta AI can understand our preferences and behaviors in such detail, are we still in control of what we want? Or are we merely reacting to suggestions? This is not just a technological question. It's one that touches on our autonomy and even our identity. The science behind data inference is both complex and fascinating. It relies on algorithms that process vast amounts of information to identify patterns that the human brain might never notice. Meta AI on WhatsApp uses this technology to make our lives easier, yet it also creates a dilemma. By offering personalized suggestions, this AI isn't just predicting our preferences, it might be shaping them, influencing our decisions, and guiding us without us realizing it. We might think AI merely responds to our commands, but the truth is that it learns from every interaction, deepening its understanding of us. The more we use these tools, the more they learn, and possibly, the more they influence our choices. Thus, we're dealing with an intelligence that doesn't just observe, but interacts with our behavior, raising a delicate question. Who's really in control? To understand the depth of this relationship, we need to realize that Meta AI is not a passive tool. It adapts and evolves according to our preferences and, in a way, shapes how we think and interact. We're sharing with it details we might not disclose to another person. Yet, paradoxically, this AI may end up knowing us more intimately than a close friend could. This profound knowledge of the user is an extraordinary scientific advancement, but it also brings a critical concern. How comfortable are we relinquishing our privacy to let a machine comprehend every detail of our lives? The promise of convenience may ultimately come at the cost of our autonomy. If we continue down this path, the concept of privacy, as we know it, may become a memory of a simpler time. Privacy has been a central concept throughout human history. From the earliest times, we valued the ability to keep certain thoughts and actions hidden from others. But what happens when a technology like Meta AI watches us so closely that even our most subtle secrets can be decoded? Philosophy helps us explore this issue, raising questions about how losing privacy might impact our very sense of identity. Michel Foucault, a philosopher who studied the relationship between surveillance and power, argued that constant observation changes us. He explained that, under the watchful eye of an invisible authority, we tend to alter our behavior, becoming not our true selves, but what we think we should be. With Meta AI on WhatsApp, we're dealing with a less visible, yet equally impactful, form of surveillance. Knowing that an AI might monitor our conversations could lead us to adjust our interactions, changing not only what we say, but even what we feel. This impact on authenticity is one of the biggest philosophical questions of our time. When we shape our behavior out of fear of being read by artificial intelligence, we lose part of our essence. We become more cautious, less authentic, perhaps even less spontaneous. Meta AI, by observing and interpreting what we say, plays the role of a digital mirror, reflecting back an image of ourselves that we may not even recognize. Jean-Paul Sartre also adds to this discussion. In his work, he explored the concepts of authenticity and freedom. For Sartre, to be free means to act according to our true essence, without external influences. Yet if an AI like Meta's interprets every word and suggests responses based on that understanding, to what extent are we still free to respond as we truly wish? Sartre would argue that our freedom is being limited by this invisible presence that subtly shapes our choices. Then another philosophical question emerges. Who are we really if we are constantly being observed and analyzed? Our interactions on WhatsApp may no longer be just conversations. They've become data points, mapped, studied, interpreted, and used to predict our behavior. Are we still ourselves when engaging in a platform where every word is a piece of information for an intelligence that analyzes us? In this context, the notion of privacy itself begins to shift. It's no longer about keeping secrets, but about losing the space where we can be truly authentic. This lack of privacy transforms our relationship with ourselves and others. After all, if we feel we're being read by a machine, what happens to our feelings, impulses, our spontaneity? Philosophy reminds us that being free means expressing all of this without fear. This shift in human identity is a gradual, almost imperceptible process. The more we interact with Meta AI, the more our relationship with privacy and authenticity changes. We unconsciously adjust to a digital surveillance environment, setting aside nuances and impulses that ultimately define who we are. And without realizing it, we give away pieces of our freedom, allowing technology to draw the lines that shape our identity. Philosophy invites us to reflect. Are we slowly becoming products, optimized, so that Meta AI can better understand us? Do we lose the ability to be entirely ourselves, shaped by a system that knows us through algorithms? This question becomes a search for inner truth amid a digital layer that observes us, subtly influencing what we believe we are. When we consider the impact of Meta AI on WhatsApp, we're not just examining a technology. We're looking into a mirror that shows how far we're willing to adapt to be understood. This subtle adjustment, though almost unnoticeable, raises a question. How much is it worth to give up our authenticity for convenience? Sartre, Foucault, and other philosophers might argue that by losing the right to be authentic, we lose a fundamental part of what makes us human. In the age of artificial intelligence, the concept of freedom takes on new dimensions. With Meta AI on WhatsApp, we're compelled to ask how much of our decisions are truly ours. When our interactions are constantly analyzed, adjusted, and personalized by an AI, are we genuinely free to choose? Or are we being guided by technology that interprets and shapes our choices? Technological determinism is a theory suggesting that once technology is developed, it begins to dictate the course of our lives. With Meta AI, this becomes evident. It offers us personalized responses, suggests what to say, and in some cases, influences our behavior without our awareness. Are we genuinely following what we desire, or merely reacting to a set of options crafted by AI based on what it believes is best for us? Personalization seems like a benefit, but it hides an invisible trap. When we allow a machine to personalize our experiences, we may be giving up our spontaneity. If Meta AI predicts what we'll say or suggests responses, we may gradually become less active in our own decisions, letting AI direct interactions that should be uniquely ours. This illusory freedom is, in reality, a form of control. We may believe we're choosing freely, but every option has already been calculated by AI based on the data it gathered from us. With each interaction, we relinquish a bit of autonomy, allowing Meta AI to guide conversations and even thoughts. Unknowingly, our independence begins to transform into a series of reactions, controlled by a system that watches and adjusts every detail. Freedom is one of the pillars of our existence. Philosophy reminds us that the ability to choose spontaneously and authentically defines who we are. But when choices are filtered through an AI, authenticity becomes a distant concept. Sartre, in speaking about freedom, emphasized that it requires actions without external influences. Reflecting on Meta AI, the question is, how can we retain that freedom when surrounded by invisible influences trying to mold our responses? Our essence, that which defines the self, needs autonomy to express itself. In an environment where Meta AI intervenes in our choices, this self begins to be molded by what it knows about us. Suddenly, our decisions, once spontaneous, become predictable, guided by an intelligence that reads us before we even speak. This silent control questions our own existence. Are we still autonomous beings, or simply reflections of what AI interprets and projects? This scenario may seem distant, but it's already a part of our routine. How often, when typing a message, do we accept suggestions without questioning them? How many decisions do we make on autopilot, guided by the personalization that AI offers? Meta's artificial intelligence on WhatsApp transforms human interactions into algorithms that learn from our patterns. Gradually, we adapt to what AI expects from us, unaware that this expectation also shapes us. Philosophy teaches us that free will is what sets us apart. By allowing Meta AI to control what we say or think, we're sacrificing our freedom in exchange for convenience. This dilemma isn't trivial. It represents a constant tension between maintaining our autonomy and yielding to the ease that AI provides. In this process, the idea of a full existence may become a memory of what it once was. As technology advances, the definition of freedom transforms. We're no longer limited by external forces alone, but also by the digital tools we choose to use. Meta AI, in assisting our interactions, redefines what it means to be free. Freedom is more than acting without restrictions. It's maintaining control over our thoughts and intentions. But in a world where AI is part of every decision, this freedom may be becoming an illusion. As artificial intelligence advances, the future of privacy grows increasingly uncertain. With Meta AI on WhatsApp, a tool that accesses and interprets details of our digital lives, we must ask, how far will data collection go? In the near future, this information may not only be used to understand us, but also to control us. In this context, we face a difficult question. Are we prepared to fully lose control over what we know and show about ourselves? Data collection by Meta AI is no longer just about providing convenience. It opens doors to a scenario where our digital lives can be accessed, analyzed, and even manipulated. This transparency raises an ethical and existential question. Are we trading privacy for a world where nothing is intimate anymore? The relationship between AI and humanity is leading us to redefine the value of our existence. After all, without privacy, what remains unique and personal? The ethics of digital surveillance is a modern dilemma. An AI that knows every detail of our lives transforms us into increasingly exposed and predictable beings. If Meta AI maps our behavior with such precision, are we still ourselves? Or are we a version molded by a system? When privacy vanishes, so does our essence, turning us into reflections of data controlled by companies and technologies that dictate how we think and live. Beyond privacy, this scenario raises another crucial question: the value of human life. In a future where Meta AI knows more about us than we do, our existence begins to lose the mystery and depth that define us. Are we becoming mere data points for artificial intelligence? If our decisions, emotions, and thoughts are reduced to information, is our humanity still unique and valuable? When we consider the future of privacy, we must remember it is more than a right. It's an essential condition for our individuality to flourish. If we allow Meta AI and similar technologies to collect and control everything about us, we risk losing the very concept of being human. Privacy, then, is not just a shield against surveillance. It's what preserves our autonomy, our spontaneity, and our capacity to be unpredictable. In a future where all data is open for analysis, we become part of a system where AI can predict, guide, and eventually control our actions. Without privacy, our essence dilutes into predictable patterns. Every detail of our lives transforms into information that Meta AI uses to shape our interactions. And without the right to secrecy, human unpredictability, a fundamental characteristic of our existence, ceases to exist. We may be giving up something fundamental: the right to remain unknown, to have thoughts and feelings that only we understand. When everything can be read and interpreted by Meta AI, our lives lose the depth of their layers. AI reveals what we try to conceal, leaving us to wonder. Are we becoming transparent beings in a world where everything is exposed? If privacy represents the last frontier of our individuality, losing it is more than a practical issue. It's an existential one. To give up this right is to accept an existence without mystery, a life reduced to patterns and algorithms. By accepting this trade-off, we redefine the value of our humanity. Privacy is not just about protecting information, it's about safeguarding what makes us human at our core. Artificial intelligence, like Meta AI on WhatsApp, offers us a new era of convenience and connectivity. But as we embrace this world, we also give up a fundamental part of our humanity: privacy. Science, philosophy, and existential questions all reveal that privacy is more than a right. It's the foundation of our authenticity, freedom, and individuality. Losing it means losing the ability to truly be ourselves. So it's up to us to reflect. How much freedom are we willing to sacrifice for convenience? When AI knows more about us than we do, are we truly in control? Ultimately, this issue is not just about digital security, but a profound existential dilemma. Our essence is shaped by secrets, spontaneity, and the unpredictable. I invite you to reconsider your use of technologies like Meta AI. How far are we prepared to go in the name of progress? We must fight to protect privacy, to preserve what makes us unique. Because, in a world where everything is observed, perhaps the greatest act of resistance is to remain invisible.